Kylian, on the other hand, is good up front. He can drive from the right. He can drive from the left.
Kylian isn't good up front.
Now let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Play ball! Out of 9 games played in the La Liga this season, Barcelona has won 8 and lost 1. They are top on the log. Second is Real Madrid. Real Madrid is trying to defend their league after winning it last season. They have played the same number of games, 9 games, but they have a couple of those. They have not lost any game this season. They are trying to defend their league. But Barcelona is looking to fight for this La Liga and win it. Hansi Flick is doing magic with these young players. They have a whole lot of injuries, but he's find a way to use Yamal and other players to stay top in the La Liga. Okay, guys, if you look at this La Liga, it's practically Barcelona versus Real Madrid. Who do you think will come out on top in this fight?
It's a tough one. It remains to be seen, but Hansi Flick has given himself a fantastic start, winning 8 of his 9 games, losing the last match against Osasuna, the only loss for the season. It's a good win. It's a good head start. 24 points on the log, topping Real Madrid, topping Atletico Madrid, and a couple of other clubs. Real Madrid have not been sleeping. They are unbeaten in the La Liga. 6 wins, 3 draws. So they've not lost the game. They are just 4 points behind Barcelona. The question is now, with the injuries they are having and a couple players that are missing, can they recover in time to close in the gap on Barcelona? Or will Barcelona continue winning their games and keep on spreading the gap between them and Real Madrid?
Okay, no. So if you look at both teams, the way they set up, they play good football. Both Barca play more attractive football, probably because of the kind of players they have. Now, they have injury issues, but De Jong is back. He played last game. Gavi is almost back. If you look at the way they are playing, adding Gavi back, do you think that Hansi Flick can take this team? Because they are a young side. If you look at the average number of age they are using to play, apart from Lewandowski and probably one of their defenders that is old, do you think that Hansi Flick can do magic with this Barca team?
I always say this. I think it's a proper mix at Barcelona right now. It's a proper mix of experience and youth. I think with players going on injury, De Jong has the experience. He's young, but he has the experience from Ajax, where he played alongside big names, big players. At his time at Ajax, old men, he learned from there. Now he's at Barca. He played
with Messi.
And he played with Messi and some other top players as well. So he's learned from these players. Now he is the experienced one, though he's young. But you also need in the front line, you have Lewandowski, who is old. But you know, what's it called? Lamio and the other players can learn off him. And Ferran Torres and all of that can learn off him. And you have some other players who are coming into the side. You have the Kubasis and all of that who want to compete for midfield position. Now we have Pau Victor as well. Many players in the Real Madrid side, Barcelona side, young players that could be given the opportunity to play. If not for the fact that they don't have the funding, we know Hansi Flick would have been looking for top players to come and play his style. But because of the condition, you know, they say in a condition they make crayfish bend. Because of condition we make crayfish bend for Barca now, he's forced to use the team he has. You get the players from La Masia, the Kubasis, the Pau Victors and all of that. He's forced to introduce them and play them. Eric Garcia, on the other hand, is a defender for for Man City. Didn't get the shine. He said he wants to go back to La Liga. And now he's in La Liga, he's playing for Barca.
He went on last season though.
Now, after going on multiple loans, he's now in the starting lineup. Now they are playing him off position. But the only thing is, can he shake off the idea of I'm a defender and try to be a defensive midfielder for Barca? We've seen Barca go on to have just one defensive midfielder that could go on and slickly create attacking opportunities from a defensive role. In the person of Busquets, he can dribble past three attackers and take a pass forward, and the rest from there is story. You can see Messi going on to score goals, but now they don't have that person in that midfield currently.
Well, De Jong is going to be back, so I think he has to carry the ball.
Look at it now. From defense to attack, De Jong is CM. We have a DM who can do that. If De Jong is outmarked, if De Jong is outplayed, who can replace him? Who can do that? In Barca, then we talked about this. Look at, let's go back to Barca of old. We have Busquets, Ini, and Xavi. You get these three players. You know that Busquets can lead the attack from defensive line without Iniesta and Xavi getting involved. But you also know that they can also work together to make sure that the opposition side does not touch the ball for the whole of 90 minutes. Now in the Barca side, now apart from De Jong who can do that well, who else?
I think probably Gavi can actually when
Gavi
he
can,
comes back.
yes,
you know-
Gavi can get
you
well,
know, I
but
think,
Eric is not good on it. So I think they have a problem in the defensive midfield position. That's just what I think.
I think beyond having a problem in defensive midfield position, it's fine to hold the pass to a pedestal, but that shouldn't be the benchmark going forward in building a team. The fact that you had key talents and they were able to hold on to the ball for 90 minutes doesn't mean that football has changed now. It's no more the way it used to be before. So you can have a DM, you can have a CM, but for me, looking at the team, the way they are set up now, I still feel like once there's any money to be spent on transfers, Hansi Flick is going to get in one or two players into that midfield to strengthen the midfield. So Eric Garcia may not be holding down that job for long because his deficiencies will show in games.
It's already showing because he took a
And,
red card against the other
you know,
team. It's
so-
already showing.
What do you make? Gavi is going to back probably after the international break, and Dijon is back. So they have two midfield joining this particular good set of young players. Do they need to still buy another midfield to add to this midfield that they already have now?
In the attacking position, they have Olmo there. He's not available, so Rafinha can play in that position.
Rafinha has been playing on that
Now
position
look
since
at
Olmo is
it.
out.
I'm not saying they want, because Andres Christensen cannot play there well. The other player they played there last season, all the players that played there last season were just defenders. They need a defensive midfielder. They let Frank Kessie go. They let some other top players go. They need someone to come in and replace those players they've let go in the past.
Okay,
Now,
let's talk
if you
about.
can't get them in the market, grow them. I think the only person that could play in that defensive position is Gavi, so far for Barca. But yet Gavi also likes to move forward and join the attack line. If he's not going to be playing the defensive role for Barca, they should move them forward, bring in somebody that could hold that position.
And sit
Play
there
very well.
and hold the position.
Okay, let's talk about the attacking options for both teams. Lewandowski has been firing. He scored a hat-trick last weekend. Just the last match, he scored a hat-trick. He's leading top of the La Liga goal scoring. But let's talk about Real Madrid first, because Real Madrid have the Galactico strikers that they brought in Mbappe, the Vinicius, and Rodrigo in that team. Do you think that they have gelled well? If you look at
the young
and I forgot the young Pele. Please, let's not argue about that one. He's the young Pele. Everybody will agree that he's the young Pele. So he's the reincarnation of Pele in quotes. So they have all these striking options. Do you think that Ancelotti will find a way to make, because everybody is seeing it, they are not really gelling well? Do you think that Ancelotti will find a way to make these strikers to become a formidable force, like probably the Benzema, Ronaldo, and Bale, BBC before? What do you think?
For me, when you talk about the BBC, none of the BBC could play in multiple positions. You have Benzema playing in the middle, doing his job, getting the tap-in, scoring the goals, making assists for other people. You have Bale from the flanks doing what he does. You also have other players in the side doing what they do. But
Cristiano, calling me Cristiano doing what he does well.
Cristiano doing what he does well.
That name, no, they like.
Call his
they
name.
like calling
Call
name.
his name is
Call his
Cristiano.
name. Now go Team B. Call his name.
Continue, John.
Be coming down. So you have Cristiano also doing what he does best too from there. And then we also saw him graduate into the role playing in center when Benzema left as well. And they've done well for themselves. But at Real Madrid right now, we have Vini, who is fantastic off the wings. We have Mbappe, who is also fantastic off the wings, who is being forced to play in the center. And we also have Rodrigo too, playing off the wing. So we have just wingers in this Real Madrid side. Unpopular opinion here, they do not have a marksman. And we are going to, you can say young Pele is a marksman, granted, but we are going to have to see Real Madrid bring in a marksman, or somebody is going to have to metamorphose their game into playing.
John, I disagree with you. It's a front line that gets goals. In Barca, we have Rafinha, Lewandowski, and
what was
Lamine
their
Yamal.
performance in the Champions League
Lamine Yamal and
against Lille?
Lamine Yamal and what's it called? Rafinha plays from the right. Understand this? They play from the right. The other person, the left is empty at this point. Then you have Lewandowski who is up front. But what happens is they make shift because the wing is big. You can play a fleet formation. Now sometimes you see
Rafinha plays on the left, Lamar plays on the right.
Because of injury crisis. Now, if you notice Rafinha from Leeds United to other clubs, to Barca in his first season before that Lamine Yamal started that position, he was playing from the right. He's a left-footed player playing from the right.
I think in this final game he played
He's
behind
been
the
playing this now. He's playing from the
He's
left.
playing on the left
Now he's
for
been playing from the
Barcelona.
left for some couple of games now, and in recent games he's played up down the middle. You get behind the striker, behind the Lewandowski. So it tells you that because of him now playing down the middle, there is a free formation. Anybody can move. The only person that is standby is Lewandowski. The rest of the three of them can move anywhere they want to, except for Yamal, who is always permanent on that right, and Lewandowski. The rest of them can move fluidly. For Real Madrid, it's the same thing. The only person that could stay in front and get the goals is maybe Rodri. But you can also see him drive to the right, come to the left. Vini can operate well from the left and down the middle, but maybe not too much of the middle behind the striker. But what's it called now? Kylian, on the other hand, is good up front. He can drive from the right. He can drive from the left.
Kylian isn't good up front.
Then we have the man that makes is about the
Kylian
connecting.
Isn't good up
There's
front.
no how you
We
say
saw
it.
him struggle at Paris Saint-Germain in that position.
Depending on the team
We
he's
saw him
playing
struggle
with now.
in Real
When you're
Madrid
playing,
now,
when you're playing
playing
him,
in that
John,
position.
in
So
PSG,
he's struggling to play in that position
John,
right now.
John, in PSG, he was playing with Bacolas and the rest of them that play as front nine. You get these players he's playing with to compete for the number 9 position are also top 9 in their
Bacola
right.
is a winger. He's not a striker. Bacola
plays
is
as
a
the
winger
he
playing
plays as the forward as well.
on
He
the
plays-
left wing, creating chances for the team. You also have another player coming in from the right, creating chances for the team. So he's getting service playing in the
Bacola
center.
also
But
plays
Mbappe's
in the
natural
front.
position is playing off that left. That's his natural position.
Bacola plays
And then
in
you
front
tell
as
me
a
that
9.
you tell me that they are
Kolomwani
playing
plays
a
in the
fluid.
9.
They are
If you look
playing
at
a
the way
fluid
they play-
front
if
line.
you look at the way
A
they
fluid
play-
front line. How your game will you? You are playing a fluid front line. How your game will you?
You're talking about just one game they
I'm
lost.
talking about a game, not
You're
just
talking
one
about
game.
one game they lost.
Look at the previous
John will
games they've
take-
drawn
John
in
will
the
take-
La Liga.
John will take up
Look
one
at the
game.
previous game they've drawn in the La Liga. What happened to those games?
When you say some of
Because
these things, I
you
just
can't
laugh at
score. You have a deadly tripartite squad playing up front. You have Mbappe, you have Vini, you have Rodrigo. How market now? You should be boss. You should be winning 8 games and losing 1 game like Barcelona are doing. But how market?
They are winning games. They are playing draw. They had injury crisis.
6
they
games.
played draws.
6
against
games
they
out of
won
9.
They won games. They won 6 games out of 9. They drew 3. One of those games was Maluka, and I told you about the Maluka style, forcing all the players to play on one side of the pitch and closing out that side of the pitch and hitting on the counter on the other side of the pitch. Other teams will come up and I keep saying it. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Some teams will come up top and want to shut you down from scoring goals. And I think we've seen that this season. The combination between Jude, the front four, because we talked about Barcelona's front four, how good they are. In Real Madrid, you have the same front four. The game changer for me yesterday or on the weekend for Real Madrid was Valverde, who was also playing as a CB. I say as a center midfielder. He wasn't the attacking midfielder. He wasn't defensive midfielder. He was playing as a center midfielder alongside Modric and the rest. You get. He was the one that changed the game. He was the one that inherited the Toni Kroos jersey, number 8 jerseys, and he's been the one lifting the team. He and Jude can make that forward passes. It's depending on who makes the run, then we spot the pass and make the pass in alignment with the run. Whoever makes the run. And for Real Madrid, it's from the midfield. I'm not going to say Real Madrid is a team that plays. You always see Real Madrid.
That answers the question because
right from
now,
time,
what
right
you
from
have
time,
is
you have seen a Real Madrid
whoever makes the run.
front.
That's Real Madrid formation now. Whoever makes the run,
See,
whether it is Vini, whether it is Mbappe, whether it is Rodri, whoever first enter that left position and make the run,
maybe left
is
position.
That's
Whoever
what
runs
you
into
call
this-
it what it is.
whoever-
Let's not
see,
come
it's
and
not about-
beautify
it's not about making
one
the-
thing
it's
or
not
the
about
other. Let's
making
not
the run.
beautify. Call it what it is. Whoever makes the run gets the chance. Simple.
It's not about
And
making the
whoever
run.
doesn't
It's
make
not
the
about
run
making the run.
loses out.
It's not about making the run into the flanks. Understand? It's about making the run for a potential pass to lead to goal. We've seen Toni Kroos change the game with just one pass. How does he do it? He spots a run and he passes the ball to the person who's making the run. And you know, if they're going on a break now, there's nobody to chase out after Kylian Mbappe. There's nobody. Vini can dribble his way past defenders. Kylian can outpace his defenders. Now, if they make the run together and Vini is making the run first and the pass gets to Vini, he's passing out to Kylian. If Jude is making the pass, he sees what's it called? I saw the beautiful game they played, the 1-2 between he and the last 2 games. 1-2 between he and Jude. It was a 1-2 beautiful touch and he was slotting it in beautifully. So it's about, like, as Lottie said, the front line is big. It's 3 players against 4 defenders.
That's
at some
a
point,
political response from a
at some
political
point-
manager. That's
at some
that's
point,
what it
it's
is. Let's call
5
it what it is.
defenders.
It's a
Yes.
political statement from a political coach trying not to stamp on
Political
anybody's
coach
leg.
wey dey
Simple.
win trophy.
Forget about
Call
winning
it
trophy.
political,
That one
call
is
it
outcome. May
tactics.
you can't win the trophy this season.
Call
no
it
we see now.
tactical.
May you can't win the
call
trophy
it,
this season.
call
No we see
it,
now.
That's what it
Tactics-less
is. Coach.
Simple and
It's just
short.
a style that worked.
Let it
Last
work.
season,
Why didn't it
last
work
season there
against
was no
Lille?
striker at Real Madrid.
Why
They played
didn't
without
it
a
work
striker.
against Lille?
They played the season throughout last season without a striker. What happened?
A
They
simple
won.
question. Why
they
didn't
won-
it work against
Lille
Lille?
wey defend.
Why
back in
you
the
not
box.
work against Lille? Why you not work against Mallorca?
They've just lost only one game this season.
Okay, let's
And
look
for the
at
past 268 games, for the past 268 days, they've not lost any game.
The
They've been
past
playing
168 games without
a
Mbappe.
striker.
Without Mbappe. Yes, call it what it is.
Without a striker.
Without
So why is Mbappe now a problem for
without
you?
Mbappe, they played that way. They won their games off the back of Jude Bellingham. Simple and short.
So
Let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it is.
Classical goals when they need a goal.
Classical
is not
goals.
working.
Look at when Vini came into
John
the team
Biko
and Jude came
was
into the
fantastic.
team and
All
in
the-
no
I
time
said this.
scored over how many goals he did for Real Madrid, winning games with his goals and being the it factor in Real Madrid's attacking line. You can't take it away from Jude. That's why they won the way they did. And this season now, with the coming of Mbappe, he's playing less of that attacking role to feature the Mbappe man up front.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let me
Simple.
ask you this question. Say, Jude, against Bayern Munich last season, who scored the goals that got them into the final?
Who created the chances?
Was Brahim Diaz.
Who created the
Brahim
chances?
Diaz created the chances. Joselo scored the goals. Came off the bench. These two players came off the bench.
Yes.
Brahim Diaz and now Brahim Diaz is not available to play from the right. Yes, no striker, and the only option they have as a striking option is Rodrigo, Endrick, and Kylian Mbappe up front. Now they have, like I said, it's a team that has forward line. They have to create chances. The midfield has to hold on to the ball for long and see who runs into pocket space and see if they can distribute. It's about distribution. It's not about one man's work. It's not one man's team. For Real Madrid, you've noticed it's not one man's team. When we had the BBCs, they built Benzema and Cristiano. It wasn't a one-man team. Bale was scoring goals to give them the Champions League title. Benzema was scoring goals to save them from getting knocked out in knockout stages.
Yes, but
Now, Ronaldo
under
was
the
scoring goals
BBC,
that could
we had
lead-
Benzema leading the line. Simple and short.
And Benzema was also dropping to midfield to play.
Okay, if you look at now,
So if you
Hansi
can't tell me
Flick-
that they had one person standing up front in there.
Benzema was the man doing the job, standing up front
they
there
didn't
for
have
them.
anybody. Even
And they
Benzema-
don't have
the
anybody
same-
now.
That's what I'm saying. Even the same Benzema was dropping into midfield to build up play.
yes.
So you can't
Regardless.
you can't take it away from the Real Madrid side. That
Regardless.
Aside from Raul, who has played in that number 9 position and stands there, other players and Nistelrooy, other players have also dropped to the. Van Nistelrooy also dropped to the midfield. If you look at his play, he was also dropping to the midfield to build up play to connect.
Nistelrooy.
Yes, he was also dropping.
You are
to
watching your
build-
TV upside down.
Maybe you were watching
Okay,
your TV upside down.
If you look at Real Madrid, I understand everybody is trying to get what the fluid attack for Real Madrid. Everybody has been complaining who plays where and where they will play. It reduces the attacking powers of Jude. Probably had to drop in the midfield. But last season he played mostly as a striker. But this season he has played more of a creative midfielder, which he's actually good at too. But for last season he was known for scoring a whole lot of goals. But now the Clasico is going to be coming on the 26th of October. It's going to be Hansi Flick and Ancelotti. Ancelotti needs to win that game. Now there are 3 points. If they win that game on the 26th of October, they close that gap. They're now the same point. Now, do you think that in that Clasico it's going to be intense? Because it's been a very long time we have seen an intense Clasico, but now it's looking like this rivalry is trying to build up because of the two coaches we have now. Do you think that game? What do you expect in that game, that Barca can go along to win that game and win the La Liga, or Real Madrid will be Real Madrid and fight back and win the La Liga?
For me, I think it may not be as important as we expect it to be, because before the 26th, Barca could be
a whole lot of games.
7 points ahead.
Or
And Real Madrid winning that match.
We are still. This is the 7th.
See.
This is the 7th.
We have 3 weeks to go before we get to that 26th.
That's what I'm saying. This is the 7th of, if I'm correct, this is the 7th of October. We have 1 week of international football. So we have maybe about 10 days. We'll come back on the 17th, and Barca will have to play just one game
before the
Clasico, just one game against Sevilla. Also, maybe after Sevilla, they play against Bayern Munich, which means you'll have to struggle They have to know how to rest their team before they play Real Madrid. Now they have Sevilla, Bayern Munich, and Real Madrid. 3 strong games, 3 strong run-up games in just 1 week. Because it's going to be Saturday, Wednesday, and Sunday. So how can they manage themselves? That's what you ask yourself. I know Real Madrid has their own tough opponents to play as well, but how can they manage themselves before then? The international break is coming in and it's going to be till the 17th, maybe till yes. And what are you going to say about if Real Madrid, Barcelona players picks up injury? We know we are all complaining now that Real Madrid players have picked up injury, tough injuries.
Yeah, Carvajal is injured.
Carvajal is out. I think he went on sundry. Yes. This guy just came back from a knock. Came back from a knock in recent games. Camavinga is still trying to manage his injury. Vini was taken off because he couldn't shoulder an elbow, and I think it was an injury to the shoulder. He couldn't shoulder it, and he had to just be subbed off the game against Villarreal. And they still have an Uruguayan guy who might go into the Uruguayan national team and maybe pick up an injury in person of Valverde. So before then, there's plenty clause or plenty things that might have happened before the El Clasico, and we don't know. We just say they don't pick up enough injury that would ruin or disrupt the flow of play in the side. It's just what I'm saying.
All I'm saying is that
I can't sit here and
going
say
into that El Clasico, the gap could be 6. Simple and short.
They could reduce it too.
If going into it could be reduced, it could be more.
You know,
but
this
who is going to reduce it?
What if Sevilla comes in and win that game?
Which of the two teams now, with their current injuries, is more primed to win their game before we get into the El Clasico? I would put it to be Barcelona other than Real Madrid. Simple.
Okay, if you look at Real Madrid and Barcelona are the two biggest teams in Spain. They are fighting for this year's La Liga. Somewhere around the third is Atletico. They are still unbeaten in the La Liga, but they are way off the pace. Probably they might pick pace throughout the end of the season. As Tonso used to say, this is a marathon. They might pick up the pace and probably challenge this too. But for now, it's Real Madrid and Barcelona fighting for the title, and it's Ancelotti versus Hansi Flick. Let's see who comes out on top at the end of the season.